Hey everybody, this is TJR. I'm just hanging out here with Superfan.
Hey everybody.
And I wasn't planning on making this video today or last night. But last night, Superfan alerted me to a garage sale that she had found online that was going to have a ton of used records for sale. And there were a ton of used records for sale, and I bought quite a few of them at some really good prices. And so I thought I would share this vinyl haul with you. Before I start though, I recently got a comment from a viewer who said, I noticed you haven't been posting as much lately. I hope everything's okay. And I wrote back and said, everything's fine. I had to step it back for a little bit, but I'll be back on more of a regular schedule soon. And so I thought I'd just talk about that here real quick. Nothing real serious has been going on, but I went on a vacation, and Superfan and I went to Alaska. And then when I got back, Robert went on a vacation to Europe, which is why you haven't seen the news segment that we've just kind of started doing for a couple weeks, then suddenly it stopped. That's why. We're going to get back to that very soon and start making that a regular thing again.
Unless we're on vacation.
Yeah. Also, another thing is I kind of wanted to step back a little bit from some of the more casual videos I do, like, vinyl unboxings, that type of thing. And I wanted to just kind of concentrate on my essay videos, which you've noticed I've done every Sunday. And that's where I've been posting all the essay videos. Those are every Sunday. And I wanted to see if maybe if I didn't make those videos for a little while, if I would be able to move on those essay videos, the more in-depth videos, the more analytical videos, if I could make them faster, make them a little more often. And so far, I haven't really seen that it's helped me increase my speed at those, honestly. I get them done kind of just in the nick of time. I kind of would like to be kind of ahead of myself, and I've kind of thought maybe I'll skip this Sunday. I'm getting really close to finishing a video right now, an in-depth analysis of a Pink Floyd album. And I'm thinking maybe I'll skip this Sunday and give myself more time to kind of get some backlog a bit and get a bit more of a head start on the analysis videos. We'll see what happens. I won't know till tomorrow, really. I'll kind of make the decision then. But one thing that has been happening over the last couple weeks, while I have been posting less, I did, like last weekend, shoot about 4 CD versus vinyl videos in a row in one day. You've probably noticed I haven't posted any of those in the last few weeks either. I've filmed about 4 of them. I'm going to film a couple more, and I'm going to release them as like a season where they'll be coming out an episode every week. The idea being that while those are coming out for 6 weeks, I'll have 6 weeks to shoot a season of a different series. I have all these ideas in my head for like different video series that I'd like to do, like Remake Rumble, where I compare different remakes of songs against each other, kind of let them duke it out. That's one idea that I have. I have one for first album reviews, where it's a series where all I do is review the first album by an artist or a famous band. And I've kind of thought these ideas keep percolating in my head, but there just isn't enough time to do all these series. But if I break these series down into like a season of like roughly 6, maybe 10 episodes, then while those are airing each week, I can work on the next series. And when that series is done, in the same time slot and day, I put, well, not time slot really, but just in the same day, I put the next series out. So that's why you also haven't seen as much content in the last couple of weeks. I'm still working on it though. So I kind of want to just give you a little heads up on that and what's going on here. But now, with all that said, let's talk about this haul here. There was a garage sale. This guy had a ton of records, boxes and boxes. And he had some of them in dollar boxes. He had probably about $4 or $5 boxes. He had about 5 or so $5 boxes where I bought the majority of what I got. And he had some $10 boxes where I didn't really find anything that I was that interested. He had some $20 boxes, which I didn't really even get the chance to go through. There was one person who literally, once he said, okay, you can start, he walked up, I'll just buy those 2 boxes. He didn't even look at them. He just bought them outright. Whatever it was, $20 per album. He just walked up and just took it.
And he did say in the ad that he had some unopened things that were priced at $20.
Yeah. So clearly he was a dealer and just figured, okay, I'm just buying these and didn't even need to look at them. He just bought them. So at any rate, though, but let's talk about what was picked up here. We've got a stack of records here. Right up here on top, Queen's A Night at the Opera album. I initially had this album back in the 70s when it came out. It was the first Queen album I ever bought, but it was also one of the first actual albums that I bought that wasn't a greatest hits record. Up until this album, I was a greatest hits person. I was buying greatest hits records. Anyways, though, cover's very worn, but in all of these here, the records we were looking at them, we're trying to thumb through them. There's other people that want to thumb through stuff, but the records all look pretty clean. They look like they've been well cared for.
Yeah, it was kind of a feeding frenzy.
Yeah, it was.
There were probably about 10 people.
Yeah, trying to look at all the records. But I thought it would be cool. I recently got the VMP vinyl edition, which is a really nice vinyl edition. It'll be interesting to see how this compares. I have a feeling the VMP one is going to win out, though. But I still thought it would be an interesting, comparison. And, maybe do a video on it, vinyl versus vinyl. And check that out. We'll see.
Yeah, VMP versus vinyl.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead.
It is a premium service, and
yeah, they do really good pressings, and their pressing of A Night at the Opera is beautiful looking, and it's also beautiful sounding. And we compared it to the Hollywood Records CD remastering, and we thought it was a little bit better than the CD version.
Yeah.
When we compared them together.
So it'll be interesting to compare it to the original release.
Yeah. This is clearly a 70s pressing. To me, I could be wrong, but it looks like it is one. Actually, as I look at this more and more, it actually is in pretty good shape. There's some wear here on the sides. But
considering that, it's not
$5, yeah. And at the prices vinyl is going for nowadays, used vinyl, he was really blowing these out. He knew they were worth more, and he was making deals the whole way through.
Yeah.
I walked up there with $50 worth of $5 records.
So $20.
And I had a small stack of the $1 records, and he just said, okay, $50, you can keep the dollar records. You just keep them. Okay, thank you. So yeah, he was a cool guy. Next we have The Who, Face Dances. This was the first album without Keith Moon. I've always really liked this album. I used to have it back in the day before CDs came along, and I, like a lot of people, replaced my CDs with, or rather, I should say, my records with CDs. So I would like to compare this one. Of course, back in those days, I was listening to my records on a crappy record player. Me and all my friends were. We didn't know much better. So now it would be interesting to compare it with, a much better sound system that I had back then. But I've always thought this was a real underrated album by The Who, an incredibly underrated album. Perhaps someday I'll talk about it in more detail. Here, this one had its own little bag. Stevie Wonder's Inner Visions. This is such a fantastic album. I've never owned it on vinyl. And so I noticed it was bagged like this, which I know a lot of record collectors like to have their records stored this way. I might start doing this more often, because then you can just get to the record really easily. You don't have to dig through this here. You just pull it out. I'll, of course, put these in anti-static sleeves. I haven't looked at this one here.
Well, we got to the point where
they
were so clean.
Yeah, they were so clean. It's like it didn't really it didn't seem to matter that much.
You know, and the prices.
Yeah, because the prices were so low, it's like, yeah, I'll take a chance.
You know, for $1, I think that's just a fleck.
Yeah,
I
maybe.
see
We'll
what
see.
you're looking at.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, there's a little debris right there, but that I can just brush off. Yeah, we'll see about this one here. But yeah, but these are, yeah, vintage. These are clearly analog to analog recordings, you know, not modern day, where you're not always 100% sure if it's analog sourced or if it's been digitally sourced. The Police, Synchronicity. Let's see here. Huh. This cover looks really good. It's top loading. I don't think I ever had it on record back in the day. I think I first got it on cassette, actually, believe it or not. And, but of course, a great album by The Police. Their last album together. They went out on a high note with this one. Yeah. Dirty, but otherwise looking pretty good.
I think that one came from a dollar bin, though, too.
Oh, really?
No, maybe not.
No, I think this came from the $5 bin. Yeah. No, it's too popular of an album. And it looks to be in pretty good shape. The cover, the original sleeve. I mean, it's browning.
I mean, you have to remember,
but it's solid.
You're going to have some discoloration. This isn't acid-free paper.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, but it's still solid. I don't even see... I'm going to be very careful here. I don't even see any real...
So you're going to see that
grain on it.
That discoloration.
Yeah.
You're going to have that.
Oh, there is some on this side there. Okay. It's got a little seam split there. Oh, well. But still, I think it looks pretty good all in all for $5, you know. Synchronicity. So here we go. This was $5. Now, this is a pretty worn out cover for our experience. But I've been wanting to compare this to the more modern pressing. I have the modern vinyl pressing, and
that's a 50-year-old,
60-year-old
album. So
yeah. Look at the advertisements for other records.
It's a 50-year-old album, so you know, you're going to expect it to have somewhere. Yeah,
but $5, you know. And once again, these are not cheap. This one, I do see quite a bit of wear on it. You never know. It could still play fine, but we'll see. But I will be curious to just see, even, you know, with some snap and crackle, how it compares to the modern pressing, which is, I'm guessing, is digitally sourced. And one of the episodes in the season that I'm filming right now of CD versus vinyl is comparing the anniversary release on CD versus the anniversary release on vinyl, because they're both from the anniversary release from some years back. But yeah, for $5, I said, okay, I've been looking online thinking about getting this, and I've seen what it's going for, you know, in any kind of decent condition. I'm like, $5, you can't beat it. So I'm just going to pick it up and see how it is. Elton John, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Yeah, we've got some fraying, a little bit of fraying down here, but otherwise, pretty darn good. That wonderful gatefold here that opens up 3 ways. That's really big. And let's take a look. Let's see. A lot of fraying here on the edge. There's a little tear here. Let's try to pull out. Oh, the record is actually not in its sleeve. Oh, no, it is. Okay, hold on. There we go. MCA Records, there's that rainbow emblem. I remember this from back in the day. My big sister had this album. And I remember borrowing it from her and listening to it. But there it is. Yeah. I'd say that looks pretty good. I don't think I ever had a vinyl copy of this growing up. I would later get it on CD, I think. There, yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to make a digital copy of that for her.
Yeah, hopefully she'll appreciate it. We'll see how it sounds. Depends. If there's a lot of snap and crackle, she may not really be able to get past that part of it. We'll see.
Let her decide.
Yeah. So, Boston's first album. Now, of course, I did a CD to vinyl comparison. I did the modern remastering of it on CD and the modern pressing of it on vinyl. And I felt that there was no difference between the two. It really made no difference. I ended up selling my vinyl copy and just kept the CD because the CD is more practical. And it leaves me more room for other records because my space is limited. But I did say after that I definitely wanted to get a vintage pressing from the 70s and compare it to the modern CD remastering. So I did find this here for $5. And I looked at this online, this record, trying to find it. And yeah, $5 is a steal. Also, I knew that you wanted to get it on the orange Epic Records label versus the later blue one.
Which you did say they had a copy of there.
Yeah, they did. So I selected this one here. And so yeah, this I'm really interested in hearing. And this might be a future episode of CD versus vinyl. So there we go. I will once again remove it from this paper sleeve once I clean it up. So there we go. Put that in here. Definitely some wear on the cover here. You can see the ring marks here on the back, but yeah, it's okay. I'm more concerned with how the actual vinyl sounds. The Doors, first album here. Here we go. That's looking pretty good. All things considered. Some wear up here on the top, of course, but still pretty solid looking. And
it's got somewhere on the side too where your end is.
Yeah, let's see here. Oh, it's coming out of its sleeve. Yeah, this sleeve is really messed up.
That's okay.
But I'm going to replace this anyways. Yeah, I'm going to replace this paper sleeve. Looks pretty clean. And
I'm
now
guessing that's probably not the original paper sleeve either.
Who knows? Maybe it is. But of course, I own the anniversary release, the deluxe edition that has the vinyl record, but it's the mono pressing, and then it has the mono remastering. It has also the CD stereo remaster, and then the bonus discs with session tracks, alternate takes, live stuff. It has all of that. Now, I'll be frank. I thought that the mono pressing sounded really bad. I mean, in comparison to its stereo counterpart. So I definitely preferred the stereo CD. I thought the box set was going to come with the stereo version on vinyl. It didn't. I already had the mono version because I got the VMP version, which is a beautiful package. And it sounds a little bit better than the mono version of the LP that came with the anniversary edition. But I still prefer the stereo version over the mono. I really feel like the mono version has this level of noise that's just irritating. A few people have told me that if you can find an original mono pressing from back in the day, it doesn't have that noise. Maybe I'll run across that, maybe I won't. In the meantime, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a stereo pressing here that I've got here. I'll be surprised if it isn't. It doesn't say one way or the other, but I'll be very surprised if it isn't. But either way, I definitely...
Well, if it's a mono, it's a bonus.
It's a bonus, I guess, yeah, because it's probably more rare. But in the meantime, I am looking forward to cleaning this up and giving it a spin and comparing it and seeing, how it is. And there we go. Judas Priest. Stained Glass. British Steel, not Stained Glass, British Steel. That was another album. And yeah, this cover looks pretty nice too. You definitely got some wear on the top here, but otherwise pretty solid. I recently did pick this up on vinyl, but I bought a new pressing of it. And at that point, I was still more into buying new vinyl versus old vintage vinyl. Now I'm getting more into vintage vinyl. I'm discovering the joys of hearing pure analog, analog sourced music on analog equipment and just hearing that. And so, let's take a look at this one here. Pretty clean. You can see some smudges and stuff, but like I said, we'll clean it up here. But British Steel, a classic album by Judas Priest. One of the first heavy metal albums I bought. I started maybe listening to softer rock, as they might call it, but then started listening to more heavy metal as time went on during my teenage years.
You Hessian.
That's right. I was a Hessian. There we go. So yeah, I want to compare this to the vinyl one that I have. and just see modern pressing versus older pressing, see what difference I hear. So yeah, $5. Van Halen, Women and Children First. Back in the day, I had this. Back in the day, I had all the Van Halen albums on vinyl, back when they came out. And of course, I got rid of them all. Got rid of them, and got the CDs, you know. And so
you never got into the Van Hagar years, though, right?
I didn't get into the Van Hagar years till later. I remember when the first Sammy Hagar Van Halen album came out. I got it on cassette, I think, actually. I'm not on at record, but I didn't have a CD player quite yet. And it's no secret that when I first heard Van Halen with Sammy Hagar, I was kind of like, I kind of like the hit single, but that's about it. And I kind of just ignored that for many years. But then I went back sometime later and just picked up the albums with Sammy Hagar on CD, bought them used at used CD stores back when there was such a thing. And, well, you might find a few stores that do, but not a whole lot. But I picked them up used, really cheap. I listened to them all, and I realized, this stuff's a lot better than I remember. It's just different. It's just a different band. And I realized it's good rock and roll on its own. I still prefer the David Lee Roth era better. But the Sammy Hagar era is good, too. I just prefer this. But it wasn't as bad as I remembered it. It was actually better than I remembered it. I think I just didn't like the change, and so I had this bias. And as the years have gone, I've learned how to listen to things more subjectively. And I realized, the Sammy Hagar era was good. They made a lot of good music. It was just different. And so those are, actually, let's see here. Yeah, those are all the $5 records right here. Then we have some $1 records here that we picked up. Some just for fun. It's $1. Looking back, I probably should have gotten more of them, because if nothing else, I probably could have just gotten trade credit for them and at least recouped my losses, if nothing more. But some of them, just like I said, got here for fun. The Fireside Theater. In the Next Life, You're on Your Own. This record's almost worth it just for the cover art. This cover art is so cool. I had some Fireside Theater records back in the day. I've never had this one. I've never heard this one. So for $1, yeah, I'll check it out. But just this cover art is so freaking cool. As you know, I'm a big comic book fan. I love comic book. I love comic book art. I'm trying to think who might have illustrated this. I'm going to have to look it up here. But it definitely looks familiar to me. And this is definitely, to me, a good example of comic book art being used on an album cover here. And, of course, very reminiscent of the 70s underground comics scene that was going on at the time. But, yeah, never heard this, but definitely I will want to give it a listen at least once, and who knows. But like I said, for $1, at the very least, I'm going to, if I just trade it in somewhere else, I'm going to at least get my investment back. Billy Joel, 52nd Street. This was $1. Still got its shrink wrap on it. Let's see here. We'll take a look at this one here real quick. I'm not going to examine these too closely. And yeah. Certainly not perfect. Not much, maybe a little bit worse than some of the others, but still, I'll check this out. I'm curious. My CDs of these albums, I used to have this on vinyl. My CDs of this album are really the original CD releases. And we'll see if I notice any difference here. Yeah, I see a Licorice Pizza. I think that's it. Let me see, what does it say here? Maybe not, but it looks like this was a bargain price one back when it was retail sold, from what I can see on those stickers. Maybe you can take a look at that.
Musicland.
Oh, Musicland, not Licorice Pizza, Musicland. There was a chain of record stores called Licorice Pizza back in the day. Musicland was another one. I've kind of forgotten about Musicland.
The original price on this was $6.77.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, making out like a bandit on that one. And here we go. This is one, Superfan wanted this one here. Julie Brown, Goddess in Progress, specially priced mini LP.
And this one is very inappropriate.
Yeah,
considering all that is going on right now
in the world and what has happened recently this weekend. Yeah, in fact,
and unfortunately happens on a regular basis.
Yeah, back when this came out, well, I'll just show you the back here. I'm sure many of you remember when this was on MTV, the video, and when the song was on the radio. I remember it was on KROQ. And at the time, it was a very funny song. We thought it was very funny, but now it's not funny anymore because this just happens too often now on a regular basis. It's sad.
Horrible.
It's sad. But I know it was, like I said, it was something you had when you were back in the day in your youth. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to revisit it. But yeah.
And other songs on here, Earth Girls Are Easy. Wasn't there a movie?
There was a movie called Earth Girls Are Easy. I don't know if it's based on the song or not.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, it was. Okay. Yeah, but there was a movie, yeah.
Because I'm Blonde.
I remember Because I'm Blonde, yeah. I remember that one.
And I Didn't Make It Through the 80s. I don't remember that one as much.
Huh.
And then I Like 'Em Big and Stupid.
Yeah. But I remember Julie Brown back in the day. I remember her being on MTV. Her videos.
Not Downtown Julie Brown.
No. That was a different Julie Brown. She was a VJ. But I remember seeing Julie Brown music videos on MTV. And there were times when she would do segments on MTV.
Yeah, she would.
She would like host certain segments, certain shows. I remember.
Yeah. But she was always really funny.
Yeah.
Some of the headlines here for the Evening Star: news about people just like you. Nancy Reagan's corn dog and banana diet. See the health section.
Yeah.
Alien love child born to manicurist.
Huh.
Silly comedy.
Yeah, it was comedy. And, but anyways, though, yeah, you wanted that one. This one here, actually, this is also $1. Superfan was telling me that this was one of Robert's favorite albums, a favorite of his. So I picked it up for him. He doesn't know yet. Don't tell him, okay? Anyways, he's going to find out. But yeah, and look at how, and you know something, as I look at this one here more, it looks really nice. Yeah. I'm not going to pull out the record.
No.
It's his. See. Okay, we'll see. I should clean it before I give it to him, of course.
Well, you should record it and listen to it.
Yeah, I'll make him a CD too, because he doesn't have the CD capability stuff. But I'll make him a CD of it too. Yeah, it's pretty clean. Robert has a turntable, but he's not big into the vinyl thing. He does have one, but he's not that big into it, like I'm getting into it. And that's fine. Teach their own. We all follow the musical passion in different ways, and there's no wrong way to follow it.
And he may just want the CD copy of it and let it go.
He may just say, keep the record. I don't know. You never know. Or he might want to keep it just for a keepsake. But anyway, so the Blues Brothers. Who remembers this? $1.
Yeah, at this point, we were just grabbing things that were slightly interesting.
Yeah, it's like it's $1.
And we could have done a lot more, honestly.
We probably could have, yeah. And maybe we should have. I don't know. Probably. Pete Townsend, Empty Glass, one of his solo albums. This is the album that had Rough Boys on it, which is a song I've always really liked. If I do nothing but just record that one song and keep it, and then let this go, it's worth $1. America's Greatest Hits. I used to own this. And I stopped owning it because, because I had the albums. But, actually, no, wait. I take it back. I think I still have this on CD. So, yeah, it'll be fun to actually listen to. I have the first album by America on vinyl. And I remember it was a 70s pressing. And it was the second release because it had Horse with No Name on it. Horse with No Name was not on the first pressing, so it was the second pressing. And I remember I put it on the turntable and listened to it. I bought it at Amoeba. It was in really great shape. So it was like close to $20, And I put it on the turntable. It was very clean and quiet. And when I heard it, I was just like, wow. And just the difference I heard from hearing the CD version, even without comparing it, I just felt this immediate difference. And that's when I began to think analog sourced music on analog equipment that I wanted. That's when I realized I want to start getting more vintage vinyl. And so this garage sale has been a great little opportunity to get a whole bunch of stuff for not a lot of money and be able to check it out. So yeah, so I'm gonna definitely compare this here. And
yeah, and now thinking back on it,
yeah,
had I thought it through,
yeah,
don't even worry about the quality. There were 10 people there that were obviously resellers.
yeah. They're just buying it to resell it.
And they're scooping it up without even thinking about it.
Yeah, they're just scooping
and
it all up.
And they had been there before.
Yeah.
It's not...
Apparently this guy does regular garage sales. So at any rate, though, but pick that one up here. This one here, actually, I was kind of... George Winston, Ballads and Blues, 1972. And
this is something that you've gotten into because of me.
Yeah, you had some George Winston albums. A super fan didn't get rid of her vinyl records. She just stored them away for decades. And once I started getting more into vinyl records, we started pulling them out. And
you've been learning about K-rock music, so to speak.
Learning more about K-rock music. But George Winston was an instrumental pianist, very big in the 80s.
Not a K-rock musician.
No. But when I heard his music back in the day, I was kind of like, wasn't that into it. Now that I've listened to him, I'm much more interested in what he's done. And I find it really enjoyable to listen to.
It's considered new age, at least it was at the time.
Yeah.
But I got into it through figure skating. And just enjoyed the quietness of it. And
yeah, I've been enjoying the serene quality of it. It's very meditative. I find it very good for focusing.
And
but
he did a series called Seasons, or that were the Seasons.
Yeah.
And driving through the mountains in the winter and listening to Winter.
Yeah.
The Winter album is very relaxing.
I just find it very peaceful to listen to.
Yeah.
Even just sitting here at home and listening to it. So yeah, so $1.
Why not?
What are you gonna do? Daryl Hall and John Oates, Rock and Soul, Part 1. This is obviously a collection album here, from what I can see. Yeah, it's got a lot of big hits on it. And Robert, of course, was very big into Hall & Oates. I never was. I just kind of dismissed Hall & Oates. But slowly, as he talked about Hall & Oates, I began to reevaluate and reconsider and began to realize, they wrote a lot of really good songs, and they were a lot more R&B influenced than I gave them credit for.
We went to the county fair, the LA County Fair, years ago now.
Yeah, and saw them live.
They
were really good.
And they were amazing.
Yeah, they were really, really good. This looks like it's in really good shape here, this package here. I'm not going to pull it all out, but yeah, this looks really good for $1. You want to look at it?
I'll look at it.
Yes, $1. We probably should have picked up more dollar stuff, I guess, but...
anything that was even remotely interesting.
How's it look?
Dirty, but it looks really clean other than that.
Yeah. And then we have some soundtracks here. The Black Hole. I remember seeing this in the theater. Oh, it's upside down. Sorry about that. Well, hey, it's the Black Hole, Woo-hoo. I remember seeing this movie back in the day. I think it's a very flawed film, but I remember just loving to death the opening orchestral sequence of it, the opening theme during the opening credits. Thought the music was fantastic. So if all I do is keep that opening music, for $1, the main title, I am doing well for that.
Well, and honestly, it's Disney, and Disney sells these days.
Yeah, well, vinyl sells these days, and so does Disney. So yeah, just true. Finally, one more soundtrack album here, 2001: A Space Odyssey. You can see a lot of wear here. This was nostalgia for me. I remember my older brother having this, and I remember looking at this gorgeous artwork here on the front and back covers. And I've always loved the rendition of the Blue Danube Waltz from this record, from this soundtrack, which is an arrangement unique to that movie, that particular arrangement of it. And to me, it's definitive. And but yeah, a lot of good music here. We'll see how this one sounds. But there's the vinyl haul. And a lot of cool stuff. This is going to keep me busy for a while. Some of these records may pop up in future episodes of CD versus Vinyl. Keep watching. Anyways, like I said, wasn't planning on doing this today, but it happened. Hope you enjoyed this video. As always, if you like what I do here, click like, click subscribe, hit the bell notification icon. And also, thank you, patron supporters, for all that you do.
You are fierce and mighty.
Yes, we really appreciate you. If you'd like to be a patron supporter and see your name in the credits here, please go to patreon.com/TJR, the original. Make a monthly pledge of whatever you can afford. If you can't afford to do anything, that's okay. Click like, and that will help a great deal. But patron supporters do get early access to select videos, and they do get exclusive videos every week that nobody else does. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. We hope you all stay safe and healthy. And haven't had a chance to shave this morning because we got up early and just went straight out there. They came back and shot this, so I got to go shave, and I got a whole lot of records to get to. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.